someone that they can share the rest of their life with, um, and have similar views and and passionate about something, um, and someone they feel safe with. Someone they can trust. Because at that point in your life, you're saying, okay, all the hoopla and all the play and the games and stuff, and I just don't want to be a part of that anymore.
Now I have another question.
Hmm.
At that age, do you want to sleep in the same bed? Because don't you notice when you become single, you become kind of selfish? Not maybe not selfish. I mean, my cats sleep in the bed with me, and
Well,
I think if I did have a companion or somebody I really liked, I'm not going to kick my cats out of the room.
well, then you need a companion that doesn't have a problem with the cats in the bed.
Usually they don't. They are in there for a minute.
There's a
Then
lot of cats
they
in the
have
bed,
their
though.
own little place.
I got about 5 lines I could do on that one, but I mean,
But you
so
know what I'm saying? I have a
sure.
box. One likes boxes. One I have a little cave thing. He likes that.
Well, I think that is part of the expectation or requirements that you would have to have a companion, someone that's you're going to invite into your life. It's just like kids. The, your cats are like your children.
Yes.
So if a guy wants to be a part of your life, then he has to accept your cats.
Yeah, he's got to take my cats out to dinner and
Oh God. See,
not
you
really.
might be lonely
No,
for the
he
rest
would
of your
have to
life.
like my cats because the
No,
first
he does.
there's people that kick animals and you kick my animal. I don't care if you're a little kid.
Yeah.
You better get out of my house as fast
Yeah, I
as you
know that
can.
they're on the death row then.
Because there are little kids, their parents don't teach them different.
Yeah.
And I've seen them. I've seen them drag little puppies by their.
By the
I
tail
have
and the ear and
a girl
yeah.
I used to go for a minute. I tried getting those eyelash extensions, which I didn't like. And she would buy her little boy rabbits.
Mm-hmm.
But every time I came, there was a different one because he would pick them up and shake and break their legs, and they
Oh,
would die. And she continued. I warned her. I said, if I see you, you're come back here once more, I'm going to turn you in that you're illegally here
yeah.
because
Wow.
this don't give your kid a pet. But to me, if you're going to get a young kid a pet, then you teach them how to take care of that pet.
Exactly.
You don't hit your pet because she scratched you, or you don't hit your pet because they nipped at it, because
Mm-hmm.
you work with your pet. But I seen a story where somebody kicked this girl's pet, her boyfriend, and killed him basically. Now he better move real fast because, like you said, those are my children.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you're looking for a companion, that that person that you're going to invite into your life must be compatible with your lifestyle. Now, I believe that some things you might need to adjust to make your relationship work. Now, and there are things that you just are not willing to change, like your cats. Maybe you just
Oh,
say that is
I'm
a no. That's not on the table for
I would be
negotiation.
willing to change things like not let them on the bed.
Hmm. Well, see, that might be impossible now that the cats have a habit of being on the
No,
bed.
they're only on there for a minute. They have their own. One sleeps
Okay.
in the shower. And if I leave them stay out of the room all night,
Well,
they
see,
like being out on their condo.
see, what
I mean, that'd be like there's men that have dogs,
yeah,
big
yeah,
dogs. I don't want to sleep in the bed with no big dog.
yeah, yeah. Well, I used to sleep in the bed with my wife, and we had three little dogs, two toy poodles and a Maltese, and they were in the bed
See, my problem with
all the
dogs
time.
is they can stink,
Well, you got to bathe those puppies.
but you can't bathe them all the time or they get mange. It dries their skin out.
Well, I never had that problem. Not with those dogs, at least. Big dogs, I can see, especially with like a German Shepherd. Their coats are real thick, and they shed a lot. So that's another thing. I remember reading something in, I don't know where it was, but what's her name? She's a famous black actress, and she lives somewhere out in cowboy land. I think maybe like Arizona or something. Um, but one of her prerequisites for a guy to be in her life at this age, she's in her 60s now too. She said, "Hey, if you're gonna be with me, You got to be able to sleep in the bed with me and the dogs, because that's where her dog slept.
See, no, I
But
wouldn't.
see,
I wouldn't expect that.
but see, here's the thing though. What if you're in bed and you want to have a little sex and the, the dog doesn't want you to have sex? Well, how do you deal with that?
You put the dog out of the room.
Oh, I guess you're right.
Put him out.
But if he's a big old mean dog, he might give you some pushback.
Well, it's funny. When I do meet people, the first thing I do ask people is, "Do you like cats?"
Mm-hmm.
And if they say they don't, then that's fine because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to get rid of the cats. So we'll
Right.
just nip this now.
Right.
And
Right.
I will ask people
But you
if
can
they,
still
if
have a friendship with a
I've
person.
asked, yes.
Yeah.
It's like when I have an Asian roommate, I did ask him when he moved in, and I wasn't being funny. I really wasn't.
Do you
Because
eat cat?
I did ask him that. I said, "Do you eat cat?"
Well, not really.
And he said, "No, I've never ate cat, but there are people in China," he said, "that do eat cat. They have
Wow.
festivals, dog festival and that." And I don't want to come home and my cat's been dinner or
Yeah.
soup.
Sitting in the pressure cooker, your feet hanging out.
So, there is questions if
Yeah.
someone's going to be at your house.
Oh, of course, you got to.
Because I have friends that have met a guy and vice versa, and they'll say they're allergic to the pet. Well, I'm not going to get rid of my pets.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm saying we can be friends and you don't have to come to my house since you're allergic. Because sometimes people lie.
Yeah.
I had somebody pretending she was allergic, a young girl.
She was allergic to cats?
She said she was.
Oh, but
I
she
knew
really
she
wasn't.
wasn't.
Yeah.
So
I
would
know
give
people
her a
like that too.
Benadryl, but I emptied it. I gave her empty capsules. As soon as I gave it to her, 15 minutes later, she's totally fine. And one day I told her, I
So
said,
you're
"You're
full
not
of it.
allergic to cats."
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I said, "No, you're not." I said, "That Benadryl I give you all the time, there's nothing in it."
Wow.
So sometimes people just say it to be saying it. And,
Yeah, they've
and
heard
it's like
somebody
I
else
have
say
a
it.
friend. She's had a cat for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, her husband's allergic. She goes, I said, "So you're going to put your healthy cat down because all of a sudden your husband claims he's allergic to cats," which I don't think it was him. It was her.
Mm.
So I looked at her and said, "Look, you don't want your cat. I'll take your cat, but you pay all his medical bills and you pay for his food. But he can stay at my house." But I
What'd you
haven't
say
seen
then?
her in a while. Oh, we're just going to keep. And all of a sudden, I see her about 3 weeks ago, and she tells you that she put him down. I said, "Well, why'd you put him down?" And
Mm.
she couldn't answer that one fast enough. That just gets me angry. We don't take older people and put them down because they're older. And if you
Mm-hmm.
have a pet, just because your pet gets older, you don't go put them down. That
Yeah.
isn't your decision.
Well, if they're
Now,
not
if
suffering.
the animal's
Yeah.
sick and he's
Yeah.
suffering, yes.
Yeah.
I've always told people if my pets got cancer, I would put them down because I don't want them to. I have friends their animals get chemo, and it's like having
Yeah.
human friends that have had cancer and what chemo has done to them.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I want my pet to have chemo?
Yeah. That's
Because
rough.
I mean, chemo's poison,
Yeah, it is.
and very few people once they've had chemo don't have something wrong with them. It can
Mm-hmm.
mess your heart up. It
Mm-hmm.
can mess many things up.
Absolutely.
I mean, I have friends that can no longer go on the road because they had cancer
Yeah.
and the chemo did something to their feet.
Yeah. Those are the kind of things that get me all wired up when we talk about diseases and what have you, when there are reports out that chemotherapy really does not work most of the time. And there's some people that do have success, but what is the 97%, 87% of the time, it doesn't work?
Well, I
But
think
it's very
it
expensive.
works. It works, but it creates other problems.
Mhm.
And they, because I do a lot of healthy stuff. I don't think they want to bring the cure out because they swear the weed oil
Mm-hmm.
can cure cancer.
Weed
Is
oil?
is it I can't say the word
Cannabis?
cannabis. Yes.
Cannabis.
But
Yeah.
the big pharmaceuticals don't want to cure because they're too greedy and selfish.
But why don't they get into cannabis business and
Oh,
capitalize
let me
off
tell
of
you
that?
something, Lee. You don't
You
think
know?
they're working on that?
Well,
Remember I
you're
told
probably
you I
right.
have friends that had weed stores,
Mm-hmm.
medical stores as they call them, and they're shutting them all down. What's their excuse?
Yeah.
You think they're not the ones that are going to grow it? Come on. The rich are greedier than they've ever been. I think, in any lifetime
Mm-hmm.
that's ever existed in America.
Yes.
They are sick with greed. They're sick. I mean, if
Well,
Kim Kardashian really, which I think she did fake that for some insurance, how much more
mm,
money can you have? I have no desire to live in a 20,000 square foot home. I'm happy in a small place.
yeah.
I want to know who's in my house at night.
Yep.
But greed is just taken over. It's horrible what greed is doing.
It
It's
is.
like the rents what they're doing. They don't care. They put somebody old out in the street or a family with 4
Mm-hmm.
kids. And it's I'm not super religious, but Nostradamus and parts of the have predicted this, and you see it all happening. If Trump was to get in office, then I'd have to really believe it because it talks about a person like him, and it
Mm-hmm.
talks about the greedy. Because eventually, the greedy's going to make things so expensive,
Mm-hmm.
their money's going to mean nothing because nobody's going to be able to afford to buy their products or
Right.
live in their apartments. And it makes sense when you put that together. You think, wait a minute, it does say that. It goes, their money will be of no value. And it makes sense where it probably wouldn't be because everything they do, I mean, you go in now to buy a piece of meat. Thank God I don't eat red meat that often because I'm not a big fan of red meat, especially chunks of it.
Yeah.
You go in a store. I used to buy briskets because I make brisket tacos. I used to be able to get it at Costco's, 2 small ones for 20 something dollars, and they weren't all fat.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's for 2 of them, it's $45 and up, and it's
And that's
filled with
at
fat
Costco.
at
They're supposed to be
Costco's.
good prices, right?
Yeah, but it's filled with fat.
But just think what it costs in the regular grocery store.
Yeah. So you
That's
see what I'm
ridiculous.
saying? And then
Mm-hmm.
you got states because people can't afford food like they used to.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want people to have food stamps. So let's do this. They can't buy a steak if they're on have food stamps, and they can't buy. Why? There's
Why
states
can't
that
you?
are passing
They,
laws. I don't
really?
know. I don't understand it.
So they would rather have them eat less nutritious food
No, they'd
because they're
rather
on
they eat like
food
turkey
stamp.
burger. That's all I eat, really.
Yeah.
If I eat a lot of vegetables, but I don't understand what difference does it make what they're buying. If they want to go out and buy a cake, why shouldn't their kids have a cake? So I just see I think it's probably all over the world the greed that's setting in. I mean,
Yeah.
how much more greedier you can get? Even our artists, they don't give a chance for new artists to come in because they go out and buy their own albums. But
Mm.
the funny thing is, when I was telling you earlier about Facebook now pushing people out that are putting covers, you have to read the comments that came in. These kids were coming in and saying, well, I don't understand it anyway. I'm not going to buy no music. They don't buy music.
Yeah.
Maybe one kid and then they all share it. But you have artists, they'll pay $1 million so they can stay at the top of the chart. Who gives a crap about the top of the charts?
It's all
Who
hype.
who really looks at it? Because anybody smart enough knows it's just another way of building the hype, like you said.
Yeah.
Years ago, no. It did mean something, but now nobody
Well,
buys
see, yeah, people
records.
they're hyping themselves now. They're
Yeah.
paying crazy money to
They pay for
falsify the
followers. They
yeah
pay
all of that.
Instagram to push them and give them so many. They pay for everything, and
Yep.
anybody smart enough, it's a joke.
Yep. It
It's
is.
a joke.
It really makes no sense because if you hype yourself, I mean, you're the only one that's getting any pleasure out of that. And what good is it? You go out and spend a few $100s to get 10,000 or a million people following you, and they're blank accounts. They're not real people. So that's just hype.
Well,
So if you're hyping to get a deal with a record label or what have you, eventually the record label is going to find out, well, where are your followers, man? Ain't nobody buying your stuff. And so I would hope that these labels are validating some kind of way to see
they pay
if
for
it's
the
real.
they pay for the followers for the
Well,
artists.
they're stupid.
They get somebody working in there, or they get people from India. I heard the people in India put them on there, and they say if you push on them, it's a joke.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody on. They're either private, or you'll push and they have one follower.
Yeah.
It's
See,
a joke.
The people that follow me on social media are real people.
Mine
Yeah,
too.
I've never paid to hype my list. That's why I don't have 50,000 people following me. But the people that I do have are people that I 90% of them I know.
And then every once in a while, Instagram comes in and they clean them all out. But if you
Mm,
notice, they don't clean those people out because they're going to throw them some money.
mm.
But to me, if you base your life on who has the most followers, wake up. I mean, I heard Trump say that. I was like, am I hearing things? Did you hear him say that?
Yeah, he's got what 25 million between
Yeah,
Twitter and
the way
Facebook.
he said it, he was like some little kid, or he's a reality star. That's what he showed me that day when he
Yeah.
said that at the debate. I go, is this man nuts?
Yes.
I have 25 million followers. What's that telling?
But
I
see
thought,
what you know what I would have said to him? I would have said, well, that's not so good, Donald, because you know Kim Kardashian has what 40 million. So you know maybe she should be running for president, not you.
oh, I'm surprised she isn't.
Well, Kanye said he's going to run in 2020,
Oh,
right?
geez.
But hey, you know what? You say, oh, geez, it sounds crazy, but that's the next generation, the millennials. Or
I think
Generation
he's
X
older
and then the
than
millennial.
he's older than the millennials.
Well, how old do you think he is?
Isn't he like 38? I mean, if he says he's 32, usually
Yeah,
they're
right.
30 something. I mean, look at Katy Perry. How long can you be 28? How come all your friends you went to school with are now 36 and 37?
Right.
Same thing
Let me look up
Beyonce.
Kanye West here and see what this says on.
I don't think I think they've really changed. They're the group that aren't going to buy songs. They're going to go. They know how to go in and get them.
Right. Oh, no, I don't want Facebook. Hold on here, folks. I see on Facebook he's got two accounts apparently. Maybe one of his. Yeah, okay, public figure. 9.4 million people. Kanye West on Facebook. Let's see.
I kind of heard he doesn't really even push all that.
Maybe
She
he doesn't.
probably put those there for
Yeah.
him because I know at one time when he first started, he only followed 3 people and he didn't let anybody really follow him.
Oh,
He's
well, what's the
I
point?
think there's something missing in him.
He's 39 according to
Yeah.
what I'm seeing
So
here.
he's past that age limit. I mean, when we were doing that thing at the radio, remember we did the Latin Heritage and I was the one passing out stuff and giving free
Mhm.
books. Can I tell you something?
Sure.
I basically had to beg kids, these little kids, to take Hannah Montana stuff. They had no interest in her whatsoever. Miley
Yeah.
Cyrus. None
Yeah,
whatsoever.
she's done.
You know what the older
With the younger
kids
kids.
were geared into? That book. I think you had a book called The Divergent.
Mm-hmm.
They all wanted that book.
Yeah.
So they weren't drawn to that. I was giving the mothers the cookbook,
Mm-hmm.
but I was shocked that younger kids, they're not even interested in Justin Bieber.
No, not the young kids.
No.
You know, his group is now 18 plus, 20
Yeah,
plus.
they're what the millennium
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And I think he's a little burned out listening to him. I think he's tired, which he's made so much money. He wouldn't probably have to do another album. I don't know what his contract is, but he can do shows and he fills stadiums.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually he won't fill stadiums.
Yeah, they all come and go. Everybody
mean-
has their heyday. Kanye has 26.3 million followers on Twitter.
Push on some of those followers.
A lot of eggs. Those are the ones you can generally tell. Yeah, here's an egg.
Yeah, they're not real.
It joined October 2016, and they are following 4 people.
That's not real.
Yeah.
Most of them, I think if you scaled it down, he probably has maybe close to 1 million.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the social media hype. That's the world we live in now, and it's unfortunate that people are.
Well, I think it's a
Influenced by
shame
it.
when how old is Trump? Is he in his 70s?
Yeah, he's 70s.
When you're going to sit and brag and say, I have 25 million followers on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's like, are you a child?
Here's another follower of Kanye West. ROKSI is a alleged person's name, and then the The Twitter name is NAZMULL00640901. Now, who with an IQ 2 points below plant life would come up with a Twitter name like that? So it's fake. They've been around again since October 2016, so it's brand new. They're following 141 people and they've got 7 followers. So, folks, what we're telling you here is don't believe the hype. There are a lot of people out there that have, you know, crazy number of followers, but many of them are not real. The first thing you look for is the little egg symbol.
Or if they've made it private.
Yeah. So there's all kind of hype going on. So don't be swayed or fooled by the hype.
Well, that's how
'Cause I'm
what.
seeing a lot of eggheads
To be
here.
honest, that's what I feel with this election. It's too social media controlled.
Well, social media is a
When
good
he was
thing.
bringing stuff up about Hillary, it's like they didn't have social media back then.
No, it's changed the game. You know, the 2008 election was the beginning of the influence of the internet slash social media when Barack Obama ran the first time around. That was one of the things that he was very successful in engaging the young people because that was their hangout. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, places like that. And he did an incredible job. And that's why I've been saying from day one, whoever wins that 18 to 34-year-old group will be the next president of the United States because that's the group, the age bracket that took him over the top. Now, he did well in the other demographics as well, but he brought in that new voter, that 18-year-old first-time voter, got them engaged in the process, got them excited about it. And that was the groundswell. Now, Trump doesn't have it, and Hillary doesn't seem to have it. Who had it and still has it, you know who it is. Bernie Sanders.
No, actually, I know a lot of Bernie Sanders kids that I know, and they've moved over to Hillary.
Well, they had to. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. But there's still
Because
some that are resisting.
like I've told someone, really read up on Bernie. Would he have been capable to run this country? No.
Sure, he could.
No, he wouldn't have. Not
Yeah.
at all. I don't want to live in a country where we have socialist medicine. And
Well, that wasn't going to
he
happen.
made promises that you can't really keep. He should have made them a little different.
Well, we could always say that.
And
That's
we could say shoulda, he could have,
yeah.
but he didn't. He didn't win. So
No,
he
didn't.
couldn't run this.
But
country.
he got hijacked too. You
Oh.
got to be honest about that.
I can't say he got hijacked.
Well, he had no chance of winning because the cards were stacked against him from day one. Because when Hillary stopped her involvement in being the Secretary of State, she had 4 years to prepare for the run. Well, 2.5 years. During that time, she lobbied. Smart of her. I got to give it to her. She made sure she had the super delegates locked in. All the governors.
Well, then that means she's more capable of running this country
well,
than he would have been.
but she understands what is needed going in to have that kind of support because those delegates is what pushes you over the top.
He was for Bernie Sanders.
No, I think he was a good politician that was truly trying to bring something together, regardless of what people say about him. They want to put him in.
I don't dislike him at all.
I think that he played a very important role, and I think that he will go down in history of being a person who helped keep the fire burning for the young voter, keeping them engaged. And I think the people that he brought to the table when he was during the primary, and many of them are transferring over to Hillary. If it was not for what he did, I don't think she would be as strong as she is today. Because he was very instrumental in keeping that younger voter involved. And she did not do a good job at getting them involved in her primary campaign. And I really, quite frankly, I don't see a great effort right now. I'm concerned about that. And I've said it before over and over again on this show that I'm not so concerned about people in my age bracket because we understand. We've been through this rodeo a
Well,
number
I
of
heard her
times.
talk about college for kids and making
Hmm.
colleges free. You
Well,
can't make private colleges
she
free.
she's changed her position on that because she wasn't saying that in the beginning, but that was part of the deal that was negotiated between Bernie and Hillary when he
No, I
backed
had
out.
heard her say before about changing education, different things on it.
Yeah, but her position on it was not the same as what Bernie's was, and now her
Well,
position
let's
is
face
more
it. She's not the he isn't
closer
the
to
one
what
running.
his was. That's the point. Hey, John Austin, what's up, buddy? Michael Freeman.
Did you see the guy in the red sweater at the debate? He's
The red
become real
sweater.
popular. They had him on, was it Jimmy Kimmel or one of them? He had a bright red sweater. He was a heavy set guy. I don't know if he asked a question, but now everybody's running out and buying this sweater. And he explained why he put it on because his pants ripped or something in his shirt. But he's all over the internet.
No, I don't remember him. That was busy doing. I need to actually go back and watch it again.
See, I look at the audience. I remember there
Hmm.
was one woman asking a question, and the guy behind her, he had this really mean look. And I'm like, he looks kind of angry.
Yeah, I just wish there was more questions
Well,
from the
they
audience.
they really didn't get a chance because every time she asked this question, and Hillary would go to answer it, or he got to answer it first, he evaded the question, and he would
Yeah.
start talking about her.
Yep.
And I agree with you. She's got to learn to ignore that
Absolutely. Don't get sucked into his
because that's
crazy.
what he was doing.
Absolutely. So I would if I was Hillary, I would make a concerted effort not to get sucked into his rhetoric and just ignore him because the people, I hear every interview that the various networks have had with the people on the streets. They're sick and tired of this fighting back and forth between the two candidates and the personality conflicts and all of the personal stuff that they're bringing to the table. They want to know, well, what is your position on the issues? And I hope that this third and final debate will be exactly that. And I don't know if it's possible to keep these two candidates under control and keep them focused.
Well, I think she was under control the
But
first
she
time.
was more than he. But he's just
But this time he did
disruptive.
you see him lurching behind her?
Yeah, 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 he did. And I think it's a combination of two things: nervous energy and then being disruptive.
And wanting to put her in jail. I've never heard of that in my life. The
And
first thing he's going to do is lock her up.
yeah, but more importantly, that shows his lack of understanding of the power of the president. He says, "Well, I'm going to have the person now. Who do you think he's going to have as the attorney general? Who do you think?"
He named somebody. I don't remember who, but it's not good.
It's going to be the attack dog from New York.
Is that the one he named?
Yeah. Well, I don't know what I missed
He
that,
named who he's going to bring in
but
attorney general.
what's his name? Um, geez, he was a
And
mayor.
then he
There.
wants to put his family on the cabinet.
Of course, of course. Well, see, but and that's a smart thing because you got to have people around you that you can trust and control.
Yeah, but
And
are they capable?
no. It's all window dressing, But that's what successful people do. Now, CNN was interviewing some of the three wealthy men. One was T-Bone Pickens, and there was two others. I can't remember their names off the top of my head, but they were asking these guys if they thought, yeah, Rudy Giuliani. That's who I think he's going to pick as his attorney general, and that to me would be a joke. This guy is just like him, two peas in a pod. Yeah, thanks, John. The the reality is this guy has no clue as to how government is run. He thinks he can come in and run it like a CEO of a business. And T. Boone Pickens and the rest of them said they don't think that he's as rich as he claims he is. Warren Buffett, who is going through an audit with the Internal Revenue right now released his tax returns. He didn't have any problem releasing his. So it really amplifies the question. Well, Mr. Trump, why don't you release your tax returns?
What was the name you gave
Which name?
for Attorney General?
Oh, Rudy Giuliani.
No, he says Trey Ghazi, Ben Trey Ghazi or something.
No, I don't know. I don't know that one.
He's
But
from South Carolina.
okay, well, that's an interesting name. I don't know too much about that person, but it wouldn't surprise me that Rudy would want to be in that position. Now, whether or not he's truly qualified for it, I know he was a lawyer and he was a mayor and blah 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 blah, but he's his out front attack dog right now. He's the chief spokesperson and senior advisor to him. So it would not surprise me if it's not that position, maybe he's looking at him for Secretary of State. And I don't know. But it doesn't matter because he's not going to win. Because I have faith in America. Here's my big fat claim. I believe that there are enough intelligent people in this country that know the difference between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And I think the vote will go to Hillary if people get out to vote. If the Democrats turn out in big numbers, this is a done deal. But let me just go one step further. Whether Hillary wins or Donald Trump wins, America is not going to end. America will not fall apart. We have gone through, 40-some presidents, and America is still here. It may not be our choice. Whoever the winner is going to be, there are going to be a number of people that are disappointed. But America will continue to exist. We will move forward. There will be some things that gets done regardless of who the new president ends up being. The question or the thing that you need to think about is who will do the most? Who will be able to bring the most bacon to the table? Who will further advance this country? That's what you got to focus in on. And who will you have as your congressional member? House and Senate. So if nothing changes as it relates to the House and Senate, and Hillary becomes the president, she's going to have the same struggle that President Barack Obama currently has. She may have a little more success if she's able to reach across the aisle and get the Republicans to work with her. I think that's what we need to look at. And I think that the Republican Party is in such shambles and they're in such a weak position, it would be in their best interest to work with her as opposed to continuing to do nothing the way they did with Obama. Now, if Trump is the winner, the Republicans, many of them, most of them, don't like him. They don't want to support him now. So what makes you think anything's going to change? And you know the Democrats don't like him. So either candidate is going to have their challenges in working with Congress. Who has the best shot? Who is in the strongest position? I think it's Hillary Clinton. While you can use the point that she's an established politician, she's been in the game for 30 years and she's this associated with this group of people, blah, 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 blah. But you know what? It is what it is. But what we do know, Donald Trump doesn't seem to have many allies at all. In the business sector, even his rich friends or counterparts, I don't know how many really, truly wealthy friends he has, but the true wealthy people don't seem to like him either. Even though he's talking about cutting the taxes for the wealthy. See, when I hear cutting taxes, here's my first question. How are you going? Okay, you cut taxes to a 15% for the wealthy and whatever to the rest, whatever the numbers are. How are you going to make the budget work? How are you going to keep the services going that the government has to perform? I don't hear that side of the argument coming from Trump. When you talk about reducing the income and your expenses are way up here, how does that work? I mean, I know when I try to balance my checkbook and look at my expenses, I say, okay, well, I got $10,000 a month in expenses. I've only got $5,000 worth of income. I'm at a deficit. I'm upside down from Jump Street. If I spend no money, I don't have enough money to cover my expenses. So if you're going to cut your income, what are you going to do on the back end to make that number work? It's not like we have an unlimited surplus to cover the expenses. So the numbers don't work for me. It would be wonderful to cut our taxes in half. That'd be a great thing. But show me how that's going to work. Mom and dad, citizens of America, when you sit down and do your monthly budget, you do your annual budget, your daily budget. Some people living on a day-by-day situation. Some people are living on a paycheck-to-paycheck basis. Most people. And that's frightening because you one paycheck away from disaster. You lose your job, you SOL. What are you going to do? You're scrambling. You're going to be up late at night trying to figure out how to make ends meet. And if you're out of work for an extended period of time, and if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you don't have any savings. You got no safety net. You're doomed. Because whether you like it or not, you got to eat, so you got to have money for food. If you're in an apartment, you got to pay that rent or you're going to be put out. And if you got a car payment, you got car insurance, all those things are going to be constant whether you have a job or not. So, bingo, there lies the big problem. So, as you're facing your monthly whatever that is, your monthly expenses, the government has the same thing. It's just much, much bigger, far more complex. Even running $1 billion company, running the government is far more complex. I'm not certain. No, I am certain. I know that Donald Trump does not pack the intellect, the understanding of how to make that work. We know he's had some catastrophic failures, bankruptcies. We know that he doesn't get along with his vendors. He doesn't want to pay his contractors. We know that he has, I heard a new number this morning, over 4,000 lawsuits. Most of them are civil, but some probably should be criminal. And this guy is still floating around. Plain and simple. So where's the goodness? Where's the plus? Where's the substance in this guy? And I'm yet to be convinced by anything that I've heard coming out of his pie hole, his supporters, his surrogates, looking at his website. I'm not impressed. I don't get it. I don't see it. I don't hear it. He's full of distractions, being divisive, dividing people, spewing hate, threatening people. Wants to export immigrants, primarily Mexicans, but I never hear him talk about the Germans, the Russians, the Chinese, the Japanese, the whole Asian rim. America, in the next 15 years or less, the majority of the population will be Asians. I don't hear him talking about that. He doesn't have a problem with that, apparently. I don't have a problem with it because it's going to be whatever it's going to be. If there are enough people coming in from the Asian rim into America, bringing prosperity, growing the population, if they become the majority of the population in this country, it is what it is. So who's in control now? People like Donald Trump, white Americans. They will become like me, like Carol. You will become a minority. You will not be the controlling in terms of the population. What was that, Carol?
Oh, no, I misunderstood.
No. Okay. So that's, I think, what the underlying fear is here in America. The white guy, primarily white guy, is losing his ever-loving mind because he's losing control and power, dominance. The dominance that he's had forever is beginning to slip away because the complexion, the composition of America is changing. Welcome to my world. And listen, Mr. Trump, it's not all that bad. You'll get used to it. You'll find your way. But you have to be a kind and understanding and a more gentle person in order for you to survive because you're on a road of destruction. You have single-handedly finished the job of destroying the Republican Party, number one. Simultaneously, whatever brand value you had, I think you've done some catastrophic damage to it. So maybe, November 9th, when you're sitting there, not the winner, maybe it's time for you to find another place somewhere in this world to reside. Maybe you can convince some third world countries that you are great, and maybe they will let you in their country and you can come in there and destroy the infrastructure there. Maybe they will allow you to build something in those countries. But I think you're finished here in America. And you've done it to yourself by not being a genuine, honest, forthcoming, straight up and down business person. The number of people that you have crapped on is coming back to haunt you.
Well, Pence is back on board with Trump.
Well,
Said that you have
he
to
has no
forgive.
choice. He's just a pawn. He has no choice. He knows they're not going to win, and he's going to ride this ship the best that he can to be a good little Republican because he wants to run in 2020. See you at the starting line. We'll see you at the finish line in the same position you're in now because the Republican Party, my friends, it's done. They've had their run.
Have you ever been around somewhere where they had bed bugs?
No.
Because they're telling you hotels don't change the bedding.
Well, yeah. That's been it was a real problem back on the East Coast a few years ago. And it's because a lot of people coming in from foreign countries bring them with them. And because the hotels are not doing a good job at sanitizing the sheets and what have you, that's why they exist. But I've not had the bed bug experience, thank God, and I don't want it.
Well, there's the home remedy.
The home
They said
remedy.
if you go to the natural remedy, cinnamon actually acts as a poison to bed bugs.
Cinnamon?
So you're going to sprinkle that all over your bed. By sprinkling cinnamon around your bed frame, mattress, and linen, you can eliminate them right away.
Okay.
And
cinnamon.
then sprinkle the area with baby powder, as the powder will actually suffocate the bed bugs.
I tell you what, if I go to a hotel and it's got bed bugs, It's going to be a lot of noise.
Well, a lot of them, they say when people are traveling on
You
planes.
got me itching now, girl.
They get in on your suitcases. That's why a
Yeah,
lot of people
yeah, of
put them
course.
in the plastic.
Yeah, yeah,
My friend had them.
really.
Yeah, I told her, get out of my car.
That's terrible. All right, that wraps up another Lee and Carol show. You like that? Was that good?
That was good.
Thank you very much. And we'll see you tomorrow. You coming in tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. Because when you don't come in, it's the Lee Michaels show. When you're here, it's the Lee and Carol show. How's
Just say Lee and Michael's Carol's missing.
that? Carol's MIA, folks. All right, we'll see you tomorrow
You
at
didn't
10
say hi
o'clock.
to- I see people in the UK were listening to us.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I seen it come up on the Power of the Boys.
All right. Well, welcome to our friends in the United Kingdom and around the world. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time on thepowerofvoices.com. Have a great day. Be safe and register to vote. In fact, people in Ohio can vote tomorrow. Go get them.